Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Alice Gerjuk and thank you for joining us. New technologies keep changing the way we live. Sometimes these changes happen so fast we barely have time to reflect on that. But Kyiv Smart City Initiative found the time and created a special methodology to measure creativity index of Ukrainian cities. Joining us to talk more about this is Yaroslava Boyko. She is a co-coordinator of Kyiv Smart City Initiative. Hello, and thank you for being with us today.
Hello.
So, Ms. Boyko, could you please explain us what is this index of creativity?
Index of creativity is an instrument for Ukraine city administrations to understand the potential of their city in cultural and creative spheres. You know that creative sphere nowadays is a very big potential for development of cities. And that's why, first in Ukraine, we made such an a very big analytical work. Together with analytical center SEDES, we started a process of working under the methodology that can help to the city administration to understand the resource of their city. Mm-hmm. And we represented this methodology on forum. And we continued work. Firstly, we analyzed 2 cities, Kyiv and Odessa. And now we analyzed already 5 cities. This is Dnipro, Lviv, Kharkiv.
And Kyiv and Odessa.
Kyiv and Odessa, yes.
But creativity and culture, these two are very blurry terms. How did you manage to measure the index?
Well, according to our methodology, we grouped this understanding into three indicators: cultural life, development of cultural and creative industries, conditions that promote the development of cultural and creativity in general. Mm-hmm. So, and these 3 groups, they contain more than 100 indicators of different spheres. So we gathered data from different spheres, from transport infrastructure, because we need to understand the communication of the city, of city museums, and how people can get from one place to another. So very many factors they included into this data. And then we analyzed this data and grouped it into 3 main branches. Mm-hmm. And according to these groups, we analyzed these spheres of culture, of museums, of theaters, of books, of press, of media, everything, then advertising, everything.
So basically, it's more than the creativity right now.
Yes,
it's much
more. Even city activism and the popularity of all these spheres, mm-hmm. we took into account. So if this cultural life is if people active in this cultural life or no.
Well, so what are the results?
The results is that Kyiv is the leader, and very close. Yes, this is the capital. We really have very big cultural life and people involved in this life. And people are active, but nevertheless, the factor that contains the libraries much lower than comparison cultural life. Yes, so libraries is what we have to develop.
In Kyiv?
In Kyiv, yes.
But at the same time, usually Lviv is considered to be the cultural capital of Ukraine.
That's why Lviv is very close to Kyiv, but nevertheless, many indicators, they show that it is a bit lower.
Okay.
So the general,
a bit lagging behind.
Yeah, of course. So you cannot compare the amount of Kyiv and activism of Kyiv and the number of everything that in Kyiv now. With Lviv. Of course, Dnipro, Odessa, Kharkiv, they are uncomparable. Yes, they are twice lesser than the cultural life of these cities. They are much lesser.
So basically, Kyiv and Lviv, they're ruling, and then in Kharkiv and Odessa and in Dnipro, the cultural life is twice lower. Okay, but Kyiv at the same time, basically it has almost 5 million inhabitants, and Lviv only has 1 million. So basically, it is really hard to compare these two. How did you manage it? Okay, what is the percentage of active people? Of active population among the inhabitants of Kyiv and Lviv?
We compared actually not Kyiv with Lviv. Yes, we took the number of active people for 100,000 people. Yes, we took this factor in Lviv and in Kyiv, and these factors, they are very close. So like 8 to 10, something like that. No, so 20% the difference between these cities, not more. So we didn't took. So for us, it is no matter if this is 1 million or 5 millions. Million. We took the number of active people which live for 100,000. So like.
So then you said that this creativity index is basically helpful for mayors and local administrations to develop the local areas more.
Spheres, yes, which are not developed in their cities yet, because nowadays cities, they are developing, and life in cities is much different from life in the cities 20 years ago or 13 years ago. We know that cities started most Ukrainian cities, they started from industries and from factories that were organized in some place, yes, and then the whole cultural life was close to these factories.
Well, basically, all the life was built around the factory.
Yes, and nowadays life develops, and rules and economical background of cities much differ from economical background that was in the past. And that's why cultural potential is a very good instrument to improve the economic of the Ukrainian cities.
But this creativity index, is this something new, or is this basically the world practice to measure this kind of thing?
Yes, this is world practice, but every country uses different methodologies. They use different factors to
because
analyze.
Everybody has different reality in their
different reality. For example, in most countries, they use such a factor as transparency. Yes, in our country, we use this meaning in the meaning of city activism. So the opportunity for people to take part
to participate basically in the local life,
all the cultural life, in ruling of their in decision making. So that's why the main points, they are slightly the same, but the meaning is different. So that's why.
This is the first time that such a thing was measured here in Ukraine,
yes,
right?
Yes, this is the first time. I think that we are the first team which actually started such a serious process, because we understand the potential of this process. For us, this is analytical work of whole methodology of smart city index.
What is smart city? You want to develop smart cities around Ukraine?
Actually, we want to help Ukraine cities to develop in the efficiently, yes. And smart city, it gives efficient instruments to work and to rule the city and to involve people in this process. Our team consists of different parts, of different people from city administration, people from public like me, yes, and people from business. So we and our work is not only ruling projects, but also communicative work and analytical work. So that's why smart city is not just a project. This is gathering people and ruling of the city with efficient instrument.
This is like a
innovations.
strategy,
Yes.
like a strategy, innovative strategy,
Yes.
basically. So you managed to measure the creativity. What else do you want to measure?
Actually, we just started this process of measuring of analytic work, yes, and this is the beginning of our analytic work. We want to measure transport, utility, ecology. This year, our team started process of writing policy, how to understand the ecological state of the city. Firstly, of course, to Kyiv City, and then we will share on our forum. We will share with the methodology, with the policy, with other cities. By the way, forum, Kyiv Smart Cities Forum, that will be on 31st of October this year. We share our experience with other cities. And many cities, last year it was more than 215 people from other administrations. They come to forum and they communicate with us, and we share our experience, which that we just work with Kyiv.
Well, excellent. Well, this means that this kind of service will help the municipalities to get some kind of, well, to be aware of the direct tools that will be very helpful to develop their cities or towns. But we have the result about the creativity index. So what is lacking in Kyiv? You mentioned libraries.
Yes, libraries.
What do we have to work more in the capital?
And also, I would say that factor of infrastructure is not balanced. So we lack for comfortable infrastructure.
For example, because infrastructure is a very broad issue. It can be about roads, it can be about some buildings, stores, whatever.
I'm talking about transport infrastructure. Is that only last year we had night trains and night after 12 p.m. tube, yes. So when such events as Atlas took place in Kyiv, we need transport to get home when this cultural event
are being held, yes, for
sure. Stops and finishes late at night. That's why these transport connections, they are not excellent, and we see it according to our methodology.
Yeah, of course, and there should be some kind of the schedule, maybe some screens with the schedule basically on them, so people can know how long should they wait for this. But what can you praise Kyiv for example?
I can praise Kyiv for such an initiative as Kyiv Smart City, because for such an opportunity to
this is self-advertisement.
This is not self-advertisement, but I'm not a worker of city administration, but nevertheless I'm an active citizen and I have an opportunity to do something for my city. And I know a lot NGOs and a lot people, active citizens who get results now in city. So that's why I would say that today Kyiv is the city of very active people.
Yes, well, the capital is basically the city of opportunities. This is a very usual thing. But did you notice, when you were conducting this survey, did you notice some kind of a tendency among the eastern cities of Kharkiv, Odessa, and Dnipro? Why are they lagging behind? What is going on over there which is like holding them back?
I would say that they have to use modern instrument in ruling their cities to avoid factor of personality. So they need to use innovations such as which will collect data and then analyze this data, and to make efficient steps, efficient strategies, which helps to their cities, to their economy to develop. Because what they will have a very good potential of their city if they will make a good background for this. And nowadays, Ukraine cities has a very big potential. First of all, potential of people. We have very good universities in all these cities in Ukraine, and this is a very good potential for development of the whole city, because universities, there are a lot of students, and this is a very good resource for a city to develop, because you can get specialists which you want, so in different spheres. And I think that cities and administrations, they don't use this potential for 100%. So they have to work with their advantages, yes, so to say, with their universities more closely to work out new branches, yes, and new economical background, because nowadays they have this potential. And with this index, we want to start this topic. We want to start this discussion under the index of creativity for mayors to understand that they have to develop this sphere and they have to pay attention to this sphere. And this sphere will give them the new background for the economy of the city.
Well, that's a very interesting work that you're doing, and thank you so much for your contribution basically to the development of Ukrainian cities, and thank you for this conversation.
Thank you.
That was Yaroslava Boyko, co-coordinator of Kyiv Smart City Initiative. Thank you for watching UATV, and stay tuned for more.